Brace the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started today at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Forever change the way you sleep with the softest 100% organic cotton bedding from Boll & Branch. You'll fall asleep faster, wrapped in the most luxurious comfort. You'll never sleep hot again with blankets, duvets, and sheets that feel breathable to sleep in. You'll experience pure comfort on night 1 and feel your bedding get softer with every wash. Take 20% off your first order during Boll & Branch's annual spring event at bollandbranch.com with code BUTTERY. Limited time only. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Silk, how do you look so good at the age that you are?
I'll tell you what it is, Gab. My dad always used to say to me, you're only as old as the woman you feel.
Yeah.
Okay? And the girlfriend I'm going out with now, but I hope nobody's listening. She's younger than my daughter. She's 25.
Silky, you're a legend. I don't know how you do it. Well, I do know how you do it. You're a
Well, I'll tell you what I do, Gab. I just lick my eyebrows, mate.
he used to cry in his eyebrows in. He used to get a pen and he used to cry in his black pen. No. So we're here to talk about your book. I've got it here. What a fantastic read it is. I haven't read it all yet. I've just pretty much got to the bit where you've rejoined TV and I'm going to read the rest of it.
Yeah.
We've done a number of podcasts before. We've never done one on Zoom. It's great to see you while we're doing the podcast. And I have watched a number of podcasts that you've done promoting your book. So firstly, how can people buy the book before we get into it? Because we are here to promote your wonderful piece of work, The Not So Secret Football Agent.
How can they buy it?
Yeah.
Firstly, I have £9.
Yeah.
So I think it's £8.95. And unless we're banging trouble, I think we can afford £9.
Yep.
That's why I told them to do it on a paperback. I didn't want to do it on a hardback because it comes to more money. And I want people who want to buy it to be able to afford it easy, not going to pay 20, 25 quid for a book, you know. It's on Amazon and it's in a lot of bookstores. It's definitely in Waterstones. Believe it or not, it's... Don't laugh. The girl that I'm seeing her because of my book.
It's in a nursery.
Yeah. Oh, don't go down there. I'll have the police on my door. Honestly, Gab, I get a phone call about three, 4 weeks ago. I finished a while ago with a girlfriend, a little while ago, and she was only in her 30s. Yeah, but at least she was in her 30s. So I finished a while ago, and I get a phone call. Don't recognise the number. I said, hello. And she said, is that Silky? I said, yes. She said, oh, you still got the same number. Now I'm clueless who it is. I said, yeah. She said, this is Ella. They might as well said it was anyone. Could have been Faye, Joyce, Christina. I didn't have a clue who it was. So I said, oh, hi, Ella. She said, I'm just in a bookstore and I've looked down and seen your book. And she's gone, oh, I don't believe it. That's Silky. I wonder if he's still got the same number. So I said, well, where did we meet? So I haven't got a clue. I thought I might as well ask her. So she said, I was at a Shalimar concert with my family a few years ago. And you came up to me, started talking and said, have you got a boyfriend? I said, yeah, I have. And you gave me your number and said, well, if you ever haven't got one, give me a call sometime. So I thought, well, she's got to be a good-looking bird because there's no way I'd have done that to a beast. Yeah. So I said, okay, where, what's happened? Not with a boyfriend no more. And she said, I'll be honest, I didn't even give you a thought until I saw the book. So I said, okay, where do you live? As it turns out, she lives half an hour from me, 35 minutes, Walthamstow. Yeah. So I said, maybe we'll meet up. She said, yeah, I'd love to. So we met up. I have to tell you, Gab, stunning, mate. Absolutely stunning. I had no idea of her age, though. And then we got, we started going out quite a bit over the course of a week, nearly every night and every day I was seeing her. Then we spoke about going on holiday. So I said, okay, let's book up. Where do you want to go? She said, I'd love to go to Dubai. I said, well, I've been there about 20 times. I love it there. So I said, I'll book up, but you've got to send me your passport, copy of your passport. So she did. And then I saw her age. My mate actually said to me, he said, Silks, how old do you think she is? And I said, well, I'd have a guess and say she might be about 30, 31, but she looks a lot younger. But I'm taking it by the way she talks. She's a lot older than she looks, but she weren't, sadly. She was 25. But I thought, do you know what? I'm only here once, Gab.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So she's seen my book in Waterstones. So it's in Waterstones. I think it's in WH Smith's, and you definitely buy it off of Amazon, and you can buy the speaking version off of Amazon as well. Yeah,
you can, because I've got onto my Spotify account. And
right.
Go through the audio books, and you can buy it via Spotify as an audio book as well.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, lucky for me, people are very honest with me because I'm very honest with people.
Yeah, you are.
So I don't like people to give me a load of nonsense, Everyone who's come to me said they've read it, said, Silk is brilliant. We've absolutely loved it. And then the other week, a friend of mine was in Dubai, calls me, he said, Silk, I'm going to send you something. You're not going to believe this. He's walked along the beach. There's a guy on the beach reading my book in Dubai. I swear to you. Then I get another phone call on a video call from a friend of mine who would never normally video call me. So he said to me, you won't believe this. You've got to have a look at this. He said, I'm on a train in Poland and I've just got up and walked down the carriage. And have a look at this. I'm going to walk back, have a look. As he's walked back, he's turned his phone round. There's a guy there with an iPad and all bits of paper, and my book's on the table in Poland. It's like unbelievable. So at least it's getting around. It's gone to Dubai. It's probably the same bloke. He's gone from Dubai to Poland on holiday.
I'm guessing that the book is in English in Poland and that he's an Englishman or an English reader.
English everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Wonderful read, Silk.
Thanks, Gab.
We've done a number of podcasts before, and you tell so many fantastic stories. Some of them are in the book. But we've never spoken about your upbringing, your mum and your dad. Your dad was a little bit quiet.
Dad was very quiet. Yeah.
Your mum was far from quiet. There's some great stories about your mum.
Look, to be fair, Gab, I've lost you. Oh, you're back again. To be fair, Gab, she was a lunatic, mate. Lovely. I mean, lovely woman. I'm not saying that because she was my mum.
Yeah.
My mum and dad were the best mum and dad anyone could ever have. I was the only child. I come along very late in their life because they were going to have a child and the war come along. Yeah. And when the war finished, they said, that's it. And then years and years later, my dad come home one night a little bit worse for wear on Johnny Walker whiskey.
Yep.
And along I came. But my dad was, I have a bit of both. I have quite a bit of my dad and quite a bit of my mum in me. And my dad was the complete opposite to my mum. My dad wouldn't say boo to a goose, and my mum would have killed the goose.
Yeah, she would, literally.
Yeah.
She killed that bloke that had his cock out.
Oh, yeah, he come running out the flat. As he come run out, he's holding with his left hand, the left side of his face. And I heard someone shout, come back here, you fucking bad bastard. I'm going to kill you. I thought, that's my mum. She's come running out with a knife in her hand because she always used to carry a flick knife with her in her bag. And if ever a sign of trouble, she'd take it out, flick it open and God help who was on the other end of it. She was fearless, Gab. She was absolutely fearless, mate. Fearless.
It comes across in the book. I was crying with some of those stories about your mum. I love it. And what we don't want to do, we don't want to tell too much about what's in the book, but we want to talk around some of the stories. I love the way you got your name, Silkman, and we're not going to say any more. It's in the book. It's a great read. But you do come from immigrant stock because your mum,
Holland.
Dutch, and on your father's side, Algerian, isn't it?
Well, they come from Algeria, but if you go back before that, they were actually, my family originated, my great-great-grandfather was from Ethiopia.
Right.
And then they went to Algeria because a lot of Jews got thrown out of Ethiopia.
Yeah.
So they ended up in Algeria. So then the latest upbringing was Algeria. But originally it was Ethiopia. So I actually have no English blood in me whatsoever.
And during the book, I'm reading about so many stories of yours. The one that I loved, which was later, because I'm going to go a little bit backwards and forwards, was when you joined Tel Aviv. That was a lovely little story. And it resulted in you joining the Israeli army, didn't it?
Oh, well, they gave me this card come through the door without going through the whole story. A card come through the door. I didn't know what it was. It's all in Israeli, so I didn't have a clue what it was. I took it to the woman next door and she said, it's to go for a medical in the army. I thought, what are they talking about? I'm a footballer. So when I took it in training, because we used to train in the evenings, late afternoon. And when I took it in, I showed the manager and he said, oh, yeah. He said, it's not a problem. He said, because all you'll be is a reserve and they'll just want you there 2 or 3 days a week. And all you'll do is take some training. You'll take them running or exercises, maybe football training. You won't do anything else. The only time you do anything else is if there's a war and then they call the reserves up. And at that moment, the silk was gone, mate. From that minute on, I thought, how do I get out of here?
And some of the managers, Silk, you seem to join clubs. A bit of a manager as Jonah, and then the manager was sacked, and you were pretty much left on your own to fend for yourself with some managers that just clearly didn't like your style of play.
Yeah, I mean, when I went there, I said to Pini Zahavi, who was at the time working in the newspapers, and he wasn't an agent then, but he acted as an agent in taking me there.
Yeah.
I said to him, what I would like to do is maybe go there for 5 or 6 days training, see if I like it. I don't just want to turn up in a country that I don't like and the team are no good and it's going to be a nightmare. So they took me over there and the manager was a guy called Nissim Bakar and he was fantastic. And he could see from day one how I played. And he actually said to the owner and to the press, it's the best player I've ever worked with in my life. The others must have been crap, but that's what he said. So I come back and I really loved it. And he was terrific on football. So I come back, I phoned up Pini and said, I'm going to join. I went out there 1 week later. And when I turned up, they took me to the ground and some guy come up and shook my hand, lovely to have you here. I said, where's the manager? He said, I'm the manager. And I'm looking, thinking, but he don't look anything like the manager before. So I'm thinking, have I lost the plot? And am I looking at someone and don't recognise it? You know, so many things go through your head.
Yeah.
And I said, but you're not Nissim Bakar. He said, no, I'm Speaker Rosa. Nissim left last week and I've taken over. And he was a lovely, lovely guy, but he was clueless. And when I say clueless, I've played under some clueless managers before. He tops a lot by a mile. I mean, but he was a lovely, lovely man, a real lovely man. He just didn't have a clue about football.
Playing for Grays, that little story made me laugh. Because you...
the old mood. Couldn't do that today. Played under the old Moody name. Yeah. And the funny thing was the manager, Tommy Harris, after the game, they said to me, Tommy Harris's son is the Milky Bar Kid. Oh, yeah, all right. And I'm up in the bar, and all of a sudden the Milky Bar Kid walked in, and it was fucking Milky Bar Kid. I couldn't believe it. The manager's son is the original Milky Bar Kid.
Oh, God.
And you ended up getting a lift from a pal, didn't you? And
I ended up in a field of cows, yeah. Fucking Mal Downing, his name. He was the goalkeeper. Mal Downing. And I didn't drive. And it was thick fog. And I had to make my way back to Grey Station. He said, Silk, don't worry. He said, I'll give you a lift home. I'll give you a lift to a station, wherever you want to go. So we're driving, and I won't lie, Gab, we was only doing 5-6 miles an hour. We couldn't see anything, right? And he keeps opening the window, looking out the window. I don't know why. He still couldn't see anything. And we're going so slow because you see a vehicle in front of you. It was no more than 7-8 yards in front of you. It was like dense fog. And we're driving. He said, I think there's a turn in here on the right. And I remember thinking, it feels a bit bumpy. And he's gone to me, Silk, he said, do you think this is a bit bumpy? I went, fucking bumpy. I said, where are we? He said, I'm not sure. He said, let's go out and have a look. We got out, there's all grass under our feet, went about 10 yards walking, and literally right in front of me is this fucking great big cow. I've turned around. I've got back to the car and he's got the lights on so you can see it. I said, Mal, we're in a field full of cows. He said, I know. He said, shit. He said, I think if I turn round, I might be able to find my way out. We're thinking if you can't find your way out, you're bang in trouble. Thank God he's turned round and we've gone out, obviously gone out the exit that we come in. But the cows, they could have just gone walking because obviously someone has left the gate open. Otherwise, we'd have never got on the field. Oh, God. I look back at that and I think, did that really happen, you know?
But there was loads of stories in the book and during your career that you look at and think, did that really happen? I mean, you could make a film about your life story, couldn't you? Whether you're growing up playing football or the football agent as you are now. Yeah,
no, you're right, Gab. I look at some of the things that happened to me, sometimes still happen now. My late ex-wife, God rest her soul, she used to say to me, I'm sure you've been born before because too many things happen to you that are just either complete coincidence or none of them make any sense, but they end up making sense, you know? And so many things have happened to me that if they were in a film, people would say, well, that can't be real. They've just made it up. And even then, to make it up, you'd have to have some incredible imagination. But they did really happen. Everything in that book actually really happened.
And it was mad the way that you left some clubs, like certainly when you left Brentford, you know, you had an agreement if a bigger club and TV come in for you, and it was with their blessing. You left Hereford and you didn't even receive the only medal that you got from playing football.
No, I'll tell you what, I was gutted. Gabby, even today, to this day, I was still gutted. We all got our medals after we won the league, which is now the first division, so went in the championship. And we played a charity game at the end of the season. And at that charity game, they put all the medals around our neck. And then they said, we're going to take the medals and inscribe them.
Instacart is on a mission to have you not leave the couch this basketball season. Because between the pregame rituals and the postgame interviews, it can be difficult to find time for everything else. So let Instacart take care of your game day snacks or weekly restocks and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Because we hear it's bad luck to be hungry on game day. So download the Instacart app today and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 orders. Service fees apply for 3 orders in 14 days, excludes restaurants.
Brace the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started today at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
So I said, well, I'd rather keep mine because I'm going. You know, I'm not staying here. And they said, no, don't worry, we'll send it on to you. So I gave it back to them. and never ever saw it again. I thought that was disgraceful, actually. They told me they gave it to the secretary, lovely man called Jim Finney, ex-referee. He was a lovely man, Jim. And I remember calling Jim some years later, maybe 5, 6, 7 years later. And he said, they didn't give it to me, Silky. I didn't even get one. He said, I was really pissed off. So I don't know what they'd done with it, but I was gutted. It's the only medal I ever won in my career. And in effect, they nicked it from me.
Have you approached the club since and said, look, you owe me a bloody medal? I'm sure, or
no
PFA or anything like that, maybe that they could get you a medal made up and present it for you.
I mean, I'd love them to, Gab, to be honest, mate. I've never contacted anyone. The only person I contacted, as I say, was Jim Finney. That was it. And I was the older I've got, the more gutted I've got, because I'd love to have left that to my son or to my grandson. I'd love to have left it to someone. Not that I'm going anywhere for the next 30 years, 40 years, still be around. I've got to be because of this Richard, you know. But I would absolutely love to have had something from my playing days. Yeah. I haven't, you know.
Did you ever have the opportunity to go and play out in America in the NASL?
No.
Strange.
No.
Lots of players of your generation went out there, they had contacts. I mean, you have got so many contacts. Your book must be as big as the Bible.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to be honest, I've left half my contacts out of there.
Yeah,
you know, people would have thought, well, you know, like, how does he know him? And how does he know her? And how does he know him? And, you know, and sometimes you think, oh, he's being a bit flash. You know, you might mention, Dionne Warwick or Tom Cruise or whatever. And then people go, oh, he's being a bit flash. So sometimes it's best to just leave things out. But I have got amazing contacts. I always have had.
Yeah, you have.
You know, spent the last 25 years, 20 years especially, especially after I met and started working with David Guest. He introduced me to so many people, but I knew a million people before that. But no, it never interested me. Gab, I have to be honest, mate. I never pursued it. Nobody ever asked me if I wanted to go there or offered me a role there. One or two people said back then, have you ever thought about going out to America? And I just used to say the same answer all the time. Yeah, only on holiday.
Yeah.
So I never, ever pursued that line because for whatever reason, it didn't interest me.
A story that I think really sums you up was from your time at Manchester City. I don't think that any other player would have done what you done for your friend.
For Malcolm?
For Sally.
For Sally, for Sally. Maybe not. I don't know. I can't speak for anyone else. But she was a very good friend. I've known her since the Playboy Bunny days.
Yeah.
And obviously she met Malcolm. I knew her before Malcolm ever knew her. I knew her, all her friends, everybody. And she was having big problems with Malcolm. And she asked me to move in to help her with her problems. And at the time, I was just starting to win the players over, where they were beginning to understand that I wasn't flash. I was just having a laugh and even taking the piss out of myself, if you like. And I started getting on really well with a lot of the players. And I thought, oh, what happens here? If I go and live with Malcolm, then how's that going to look? It's going to be horrendous. Yeah, you got a player, and then he's never dropping me. He's always playing me, even if I have a bad game. What happens if he still plays me? They're going to start looking at me a completely different way. But then I looked at me as a person, and I looked outside of football. Football was a job. Football wasn't my life. It was a passion, but it was a job. My life as a human being took me outside of football. And Sally was in a real bad way. And she was pregnant, and she was having a horrific time with Malcolm. And she said, "You're the only one that can help." She said, "I've had one or two friends come up and stay." I used to be very good friends with a guy called Lenny Lawrence, who became a manager, who's a coach, a manager. And his wife at that time was friends with Sally. So she came up a couple of times and stayed. Her nickname was Jonesy. Everyone called her Jonesy. But she was there maybe once every 2 weeks for a few days. She had to get on with her own life. And I made a decision that her friendship and her well-being and her mental and physical well-being meant far more to me than me being a footballer. So I moved in. It was my undoing, and I ended up getting thrown out of the club. I look back, would I do the same again now, knowing the end result? And the answer is yes, I would.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it was a mistake.
But it was a mistake what Malcolm done to you. And you didn't speak to him for years, did you?
Never really spoke to him again. He approached me a few times where he put me right on the spot where I really had to speak to him because there was thousands of people there. So I had to a few times, but no, I didn't have a conversation with him again. All my respect for Malcolm disappeared, Gab. All my respect disappeared, mate. Everything disappeared. I just lost everything for him.
The love for another manager, though, a stroke coach, would never, ever disappear, and that was TV. I mean, a great influence on your career as well.
Massive. He made me the player I did.
Yeah.
And in a way, I think I helped to make him the coach he was, because he used to come to me. Not a lot of people knew at the time. He used to come to me and ask me a lot of things about a lot of players and what he should do in certain instances. And when I told him, he never once did the opposite. He would always do it and then say to me afterwards, "Silk, you were right. Silk, you got that right." We had a great rapport in football. He was very, very close to giving me a job at one time, but I just wanted to carry on playing. I didn't want to come out of playing, you know? So we did have a great relationship. Yeah. Brilliant.
You did come out of playing, though, because you was management material there at Orient, wasn't you, for some time?
I was assistant manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 years. I was still playing, though. I was player, coach, assistant manager, yeah.
Did you ever fancy being a manager in your own right?
Yeah.
Silk? How did that never come about?
I went for one job and the guy said to me, "You got too much charisma."
To make switching to the new Boost Mobile risk-free, we're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Because you have nothing to lose. Boost Mobile is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
No, I asked why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Oh.
Wouldn't.
Because you love wasting money as a way to punish yourself because your mother never showed you enough love as a child?
Whoa. Easy there.
Yeah.
Applies to online activations. Requires port in and auto pay. Customers activating in stores may be charged non-refundable activation fees.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
And you're too upfront to be a manager.
Crazy.
So I didn't get the job and decided not to go for another one.
I mean, I can't think of a better, more informed, perfect manager for a player, because what comes across is you always looked after the kids. You were always there for your managers. You were the go-to person for everything.
Always, yeah. Every club, yeah. Every club, every young player come to me. Even players still come to me now from back then and said, "You helped me so much, Silks." Yeah.
I suppose the passage that you took was into being a football agent. I mean, you stumbled across that. Some fantastic stories.
Yeah, I'll let people get the book to read that.
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely. But there are, I mean, I love the bit, and we're not going to talk about it, but You didn't realise that the Wimbledon manager was Joe Kinnear, did you?
Didn't have a clue. And Joe was a great friend of mine. I never watched the game for over 4 years, Gab.
Yeah.
Not even a match of the day. I fell completely out of love with football.
Yeah.
And when they said Joe Kinnear is the manager of Wimbledon, I thought, what's he doing as a manager? JK, you know, I didn't have a clue. And all the people that were still in the game were all ex-friends of mine. And either they were managers when I was playing, or they were teammates, or I played against them. And I couldn't believe how many people I knew had become managers, because not watching a game, I was clueless.
And literally, it was only your missus saying, Silk, watch Match of the Day. And
yeah, she said to me, why don't you watch Match of the Day? I went, no. She said, no, watch it. I watched it. Wimbledon were on. The left back was useless. After I said, got to interview Wimbledon's manager, Joe Kinnear. I thought, Joe Kinnear? What's he doing as manager of Wimbledon? Last time I saw him, he was assistant manager. I think it was someone like Walsall or someone, with Dave Mackay, the Spurs player, was the manager. I think Joe went around with Dave. And I thought, well, the left back that I've got, he'd get in that team. And then afterwards they said, are you actively looking for players, Joe? He said, yeah, for next season we're looking for a left back, because we sold Terry Phelan to Manchester City. We played a young kid today, but he's not ready, so I need a left back. It was like the gates of heaven had opened up. I convinced him to buy Alan Kimball, and that was it. It absolutely just took off from there. And he didn't want to buy Alan Kimball, by the way. He said to me, I've heard he's not good enough. I said, well, you heard wrong.
But again, it's like you had no idea how much the players were on, and you got
clueless.
No idea, had you? And
clueless.
You pretty much said, Silk, have a look at that, see what they're all on, and just offer me something.
He took all the contracts out. He said, I'm going out for half hour. I'll lock the door from the outside so no one comes in. Yeah. And he said to me, look at everyone's contract, then figure out what you want for it. So I just went through everyone's contract, and I said, Joe, the average is about 700 quid a week. He said, all right, let's give him 800.
I mean, it's mad, isn't it? How much has the game changed, though, Silk? I mean, it really has changed beyond recognition. You wouldn't get that situation happening again. And a player in the first division being on £700 a week.
The easiest way to describe it is I'll describe it to everyone. When I played, it was 80% sport, 20% business. It's now 80% business, 20% sport. That's about the best way to describe it, Gab.
Yeah. And are you still active as much being active with your agent role? Lucas Paquetá, you were involved in that.
Yeah, I'm just as active now as I was back then, Gab. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm getting younger by the day.
You don't look any older than what you used to, Silk, when you used to play. I mean, it's a wonderful picture, and you were a good-looking lad back then, and you've aged very well. You've also got a great love for soul music.
Love it, mate. Yeah, I love it.
Wonderful pictures in the book of you and some of your friends. Your good friend Leslie.
Les, Billy Ocean, Les Charles, I know him as Les. I know him when I was 16 years old. He was older than me.
Yeah.
But we used to go to Whitechapel Market, look at the records together, and there was a place there called Wally for Wireless, and outside there was a record store, and we used to pick records out. They'd play them for us, and there was about 8 of us used to do it, and Les was one of them, yeah.
I mean, one of the great recording artists of our time. Are you still involved with Shalimar, Silk?
Fun enough, the girl singer, Carolyn Griffey, she called me last night and we had a video call together, yeah. And I've just before I come on air to you, I sent her a text. So, yeah, still not so much now. We're more like friends than working relationship, you know.
Because again, with football, again, I've watched loads of things about you on the internet. It's difficult to lose money in football, but it's very easy to lose money in music, isn't it?
And for the want of a better saying, you could lose your bollocks in music. Yeah. So I've reined back on that because it is, you know, when you have a really good tour, a fantastic tour, if your outlay is about 200 grand.
Yeah.
If you earn 30 or 40 out of that, it's been a miracle.
Yeah.
You normally either lose 10 grand or gain 10 grand. And to lay that type of money out is nonsense. Completely. It makes no business sense at all.
No, it doesn't. The transfer window, I'm wishing one day somebody would smash it. It is a restriction on practices for agents like yourself, for players, for the football, for the football world. Why the hell we've got a transfer window, God only knows.
No, if clubs took it to court, they'd win, but no one does. They don't want to upset the apple cart.
But again,
how can you say to people you can only do business certain months of the year? It's nonsense.
It's crazy. Any big transfers on the horizon for Barry Silkman? Are you going to bring in another Lucas Paquetá? Where are you looking?
Well, if we're really lucky, and Lucas walks away from all these charges that he's facing, which I think are nonsense, but that's another matter.
Yeah.
Maybe Lucas will go somewhere in the summer, maybe.
Arda Güler, have you any connection with that young boy from Turkey? I'm amazed he's still at Real Madrid and on the bench. Dominic Szoboszlai was taking the piss, actually. 1088, wasn't he? And he'd done a heat map of him sitting on the bench there at Real Madrid.
You got Endrick also sitting on the bench at Real Madrid, so...
I think they're generational greats. I think they're absolutely unbelievable football players. I'd love to see them in the Premier League. And if you have got any contacts at Paris Saint-Germain, what a side and what stars they're
brilliant. Yeah, they're terrific. Yeah.
Oh, I love Cavaschaglia. I'd love to see all these players, Barry, playing for Birmingham City.
So would Birmingham City.
I mean, you've done quite a bit of work, didn't you, before I let you go, Silk? You've done quite because David Sullivan is a good pal.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, when Dave was the owner there, done quite a. Yeah, my first deal there ever was Dele Adibola.
Wow,
good player.
Okay.
Yeah,
not so much on his right foot, but that left peg.
He was a good player. Dele, very strong and good
Did
player.
you bring over Ferguola, the Argentinian kid?
I did Fingarola. I did indeed. Yeah.
Whatever happened to him? Was it Luciano Fingarola?
Yeah, that's right. Spot on. Just never settled down here.
Yeah, he looked decent, he did.
Yeah, he come in. He was a really good player.
Yeah.
Never settled. Family never settled. No one settled. He just... Back then, it was harder to settle. Yeah. Things have gone forward a lot in that 25, 30 years, whatever it is. They've gone forward a lot. And it's easy for players to settle now because clubs have liaison officers and all sorts. Back then, it was far more difficult. Yeah. Luciano Figueroa,
Yeah. So, anyhow, Silk, thanks for bringing some fantastic players to our...
Thanks, Gabs. Thanks, mate.
Thanks for your time. Thanks for this book. It's a wonderful book.
I'm glad you enjoy it, mate.
Are there going to be any more books from...
I have discussed a very small discussion about another one, which will incorporate what wasn't in there, plus maybe all the transfers that happened, and how they happened, and all the transfers that never happened and why they never happened, and then what happened to them players after. I'm talking about that. Whether it'll go forward or not, I don't know, but that's what we're discussing at the minute. Yeah.
I hope it does, because I'll be buying that, because no one tells a story like a Silky story.
Thanks, Gab.
And have you found Miss Moneypenny yet, Silk? Silky, thanks for your time. Love to.
Thanks, Gab. And thanks, Chris, as well.
Cheers,
thanks, Gabs. God bless, mate. Bye, mate.
Cheers.
Love you, mate. God bless.
Ta-ra,
bye, mate.
Cheers,
Bye, mate. Bye, mate.
Ta-ra.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Ahoy there!
My chute! It won't open!
Don't worry, I'm here to save you.
Thank you.
Up to 89% on the cost of your shipping with pirateship.com.
What?
Shall I take that packet?
Wait, where are you going?
To save you up to 89%. Pirateship.com will save you money on shipping. Savings vary depending on weight, dimension, season, and destination of the package.